Today's trip finds us at Davis Bayou, launching out of the National Park ramp there in Ocean Springs. Didn't know it before I come here, but this place opens at 6 a.m. So if you get here super early like I did, you'll be waiting at the gate for a little while for it to open. Pretty nice place, but what I will say is the ramp backs up pretty quick. So make sure you get here early, get launched early. We're going to head straight across the bayou there. Going to be fishing some little creeks on the other side. Just trying to see what we can do. I started in the middle of the bay working a top water, trying to see what I can do. I didn't really do anything on top water. Ended up getting snagged up in the grass if I tried to get too close. Didn't get any action out in the middle. So now I'm going to head straight across and start fishing creek mouths and just working my way into these creeks, fishing the creeks, then working, the bank all the way to the next creek mouth, seeing what I can do. Starting out with that Zman Streakz. Alright, and there's a hookup. I was just hopping that Streakz on the bottom, and it's been about an hour since I got launched before I caught this fish here. And this is going to be a little rat red, but it's better than getting skunked. It's a good way to start. So, gonna get this guy in the water. This is Mississippi, so I know this guy's not 18 inches. So gonna get him in the water and then get back to fishing. Buddy. Working that same grass line where I just caught that little rat red. Approaching a creek mouth, just hopping that Streakz, just like before. Here we're hooked up with something. What is that? It's not very big. It is a little flounder. Alright. Okay. So Mississippi minimum's 12, so I think this guy's going to make it. And yep, he makes it, so we're going to put this guy in the cooler. Good little flounder sandwich. Okay, so I've caught a couple fish on that Streakz. I'm switching over to that Zman EZ Tubez. If you've watched my bass videos, you know I like using that EZ Tubez. And I rig it a little bit weedless for bass, but in saltwater I can use it on an exposed jig head. This is my first test with it. I'm just seeing how I like it, seeing if it gets bit. And oh, I got something solid right here. What is that? That feels like a good flounder. Oh, the hook come out of his mouth. I'm almost certain that was a good flounder. So that tube rig, that's a good sign on it. We're going to keep using it for a little while. I like it so far. Here I've gone back into one of the smaller marsh creeks. This one has a decent bit of depth change. It goes from like inches to like 5 and 6 foot, and then 3 and 4 foot back to 5 and 6 foot. And here I'm just cutting through an area where the current was moving, hopping that tube jig along, just giving it some short hops, and I feel something thump it, and I'm going to reel down to it. It's got it. I'm going to set that hook. And this is a good slot redfish. Alright, this is the kind of fish that we wanted to catch on this thing. Oh my gosh. So what is going on with me today? I just cannot keep these things hooked on this tube jig. Maybe that death grip jig head hook is just too big and that rod is too limber for it. I don't know. Alright, there's one on the tube. Let's see how long before this guy gets off. Okay. Oh, catch the little one. That's kind of hilarious. I get the little one in the boat, but the big one comes off right at the side of the boat. That's funny. Alright, back in the water, little buddy. So I'm going to give this tube jig a break for a little while and go back to that Zman Streakz. Yeah, it's like I've just been throwing that Streakz. I know there's fish in here. It's like I'm not seeing a lot of crabs. I'm seeing like oysters. Oops, maybe one. That red. What's that? Pushed pretty far back up into this creek. I'm hoping I can find some redfish back in here. Still hopping that Streakz, just catching a few rat reds. I haven't included all of them because I caught a pretty good bit of them. But we're just hopping that Streakz on the bottom. Ooh, now that feels solid. That's a decent little flounder right there. Get this guy in the net quick. And we got him. Alright. Always surprises me how far those flounder will go back in those small creeks. Pretty healthy flounder. Didn't get a picture of him, but I think he went about 16 inches or so. A little bit of a late day bait change, throwing that Zman EZ Shrimpz. In past years I've caught some decent reds and things on it, just kind of slowly crawling it on the bottom. Alright, you make that same cast several times, and then out of the blue, one of them will just hit it. Kind of makes you wonder if they were in there the whole time or just cruised by and found it. Well, it's another little rat red. This creek's full of them today. But you know, the next time you come to a place like this, it might be full of slot reds or something else. I headed back to the ramp a little bit after noon. And this is just me approaching the ramp. Gosh, this place is pretty busy. I guess being a national park will do that. There was, seemed like a family reunion or something at the pavilion up top. There were a bunch of people fishing off the bank. But all in all, it's a pretty nice place. I would come back here. Just keep in mind it doesn't open till 6 a.m. So don't get here before then or you'll be locked out of the gate. Thanks for watching.